Cathy Wood 是去年最厉害的投资网红，她的江湖地位已经不亚于 Warren Buffett 或者 George Soros。Cathy Wood 最近发表了对股市和经济的最新看法，也涉及了比特币和油价。原视频长达36分24秒，我为大家浓缩到了6分钟不到，而且加上了中文字幕，希望对大家有帮助。如果希望从我的视频中吸取有价值的信息，请订阅关注我的频道。
The market seems to be focusing on the stimulus and the odds that we will have at least another $1 trillion of stimulus. The bull market is broadening out the V-shaped recovery. We think there could be an earnings explosion, treasury yields breaking out above 1%. This is the 10-year treasury bond yield. Our equity values have the valuations gone too far, and now long-term interest rates moving up, which tends to be a dampener on valuations. M2 is still up 26% on a year-over-year basis. We do believe that the Fed is going to have to reassess its plans. We do not believe they will be able to remain. They will be able to remain neutral or easy during the next year, given the power we expect behind some of these moves. We will see more inflation than most expect. Just as we said during 2017, when the Fed was pushing interest rates up, we thought that was a good thing. We thought, wow, the Fed is comfortable enough now with what's going on out there.
We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
We certainly know infrastructure is one of them. And here is where he can enjoy bringing together Democrats and Republicans. There's bipartisan support for this. Healthcare, now we're very focused, as you know, on healthcare and the massive amount of innovation taking place in healthcare, especially when it comes to cancer. President-elect Biden feels very strongly that we have to invest aggressively to overcome, that monster. And then the final one, in terms of bringing the sides together, clean energy. Well, we're seeing a migration to low tax states that is very visible on both coasts. Manufacturing overtime hours went up. So this still tells us that manufacturers are scrambling to catch up with the housing market, the auto market. And even with China, because China has also gone through a V-shaped recovery, and even Europe is, despite the coronavirus, we're seeing signs of a pickup. On a year-over-year basis, the average hourly earnings are growing 5.1%. And then on top of that, we're going to have massive stimulus during the first quarter. So the first quarter, I can't tell you what it's going to be in terms of GDP. Some of this depends on stimulus, but we could be in the teens as far as GDP growth. So again, V-shaped recovery stoked by fiscal stimulus. A psychology where consumers and businesses see inflation and interest rates starting to creep up, and they say, why don't I do this or do that before inflation and interest rates continue to move up? If that were to happen, then I think we would have an inflation problem. We're seeing the yield curve steepen and what that means is long rates are going up, but short rates are not, because the Fed is holding them down. And so this is usually good for financial stocks, and financial stocks have had a very nice run recently. Credit spread, so that's the difference between high yield or junk bond yields and investment grade yields. Those spreads have narrowed, And except in the commercial real estate market, there does not seem to be much worry out there about any stresses and strains in the system. What we believe will happen is we're going to be in a period of extreme volatility in oil prices. We still think the trend is down. The peak was in 2008. The dollar dropped roughly 7% last year. So we in the United States lost 7% in purchasing power relative to other currencies around the world. And it will force the Fed. It's another variable that will force the Fed to reassess its position. And one of the questions could be, should I hedge myself against inflation? And I believe there is no better hedge against inflation than Bitcoin. I'm sure we're going to go through a doozy of a correction this year at some point. I don't know when, and I don't know why. But I do know it never hurts to take profits and to keep some powder dry so that you have the psychological wherewithal when the world seems to be falling apart to pick up on bargain basement prices like the ones we got during the coronavirus. So Happy New Year once again.
信息量是不是非常大？一定要订阅我的频道哦。